being here to tell you a little about my life with computers, and especially this time it is about the operating systems during the times. So I hope you will stay tuned and follow what I have been experienced since 1980. If you don't know me by now, my name is Einar Hansen, and I am here to teach you about tech, make it simple. So I will try to run through today what I have experienced and what I have been using before. If you can remember what your first operating system and your programming system you were using in the school or other places, then you can write it in the chat.
CSL.
In 1980 was my first meeting with a computer, or what and how you could call it. We were writing on a typewriting machine, the old, very old school typewriting machine in the beginning, and in the same year of the school I was learning how to use a computer, and this was a little other ways than we are doing it these days. My first operating system I should do something in. We were learned in the school to program in this. This was called Commel 80, Commel 80, and I have never seen something like this before, but this was my first programming experience, and to make this work, we have to program it to do something. We have to learn to make text in these programs, and today we have Word and many other programs. But at that time, that did not exist, so we were using an add-on to this. We have to program a little sequence to make this happen, and then we were changing for something called WordWord. WordWord was an add-on to Commel 80, and it makes it work like a very simple edition of Word. The next system I was experiencing something about it was MS-DOS. MS-DOS was a very basic also system to program things for make your computer work. And this was the preliminary program used before Windows was introduced, because it is much more easy to make something when there is some graphics to work with. But DOS was the first program we were working in, and to make this work with that's better. Windows 3.10 was the first program I was adding on my MS-DOS. And in my MS-DOS, it was very exciting. I have 9 or 10 disks or something to install this on my DOS. And even when you were finished with this, you have to go back to DOS and make some changes to something called config sys and an auto execute file. If you don't go and make any corrections there, it was not sure you could get Windows working correctly. So this was a very funny time back and forth to make all this work. Everything should be working fine, but it rarely did. When you talk about Windows, it is very common there will be problems somewhere. But everything is going more or less fine in Windows 3.10. It was succeeded by 3.11. It was for work groups, and this was the first time to connect computers in an office or something like that in groups or in one big group. It was Windows 3.11. The next one was Windows 95. This was the very first edition of something looking like what we are using today, but this was a very important and a very important update at that time. That is a great milestone. Windows 95. Everybody was waiting for this, but also this program, it was working more or less fine, but many people has some problems with it all the time. But of course it was working, but not without failures. And when we are talking about failures, Windows Millennium was released in the year 2000, and everybody was talking about at that time what will happen when we change from 1999 to year 2000. The year 2000 thing was a very big, the last 2 years, 98, 99, everybody was talking about what will happen when we change to 2000. Can the computers even handle it? Everybody was very nervous and keep their breath as good as they could New Year's Eve to the year 2000. But luckily, almost everything went very fine. Not so many things happens, so it was a very big relief when everybody woke up the 1st of January year 2000 that everything is still working, but there was a real fear that it will not work. Like this, once again, Windows is not behaving so good. Luckily, this is on a Mac computer. Windows XP was the next big step up, and now everything is working more and more fine. It is more refined, and at some point in Windows XP, in the development of this, you did not longer need to concern about the DOS in the background. DOS in the background was still running there, and you can still go back to the DOS screen if you want to do something there, but it was not necessary anymore. The very fatal upgrade from Microsoft, will I say, was Windows 7. Windows 7 made a lot of problems, and I was in a shop selling computers when Windows 7 was released, and that gave the customers and clients very many problems. And they thought we could help them with this, but this was an issue from Microsoft. But it was very, very bad. And many people did not like Windows 7 at all. Windows 8 was a little better, but they changed a lot of things in Windows 8. The start screen was looking different now, and it was very difficult for people to adjust to this. But this is more or less how we are looking at it when we are looking on Windows today. Then we have Windows 9. Windows 9 was one of the Windows 9? Wait a minute, who is talking about Windows 9? Because this did not exist. They jumped from Windows 8.1 directly to Windows 10. And if you want to know something about Windows 10 is this. I will tell you this now, but Windows 9, there is a lot of this and a lot of explanations if you're looking at Windows 9 on the net. Many different explanations and theories why Windows 9 was jumped over, because as you have guessed already, Windows 9 does not exist in real life. Windows 10 was a big upgrade again, and an upgrade everybody was looking forward to. And this is the system, like it still it develops a little since Windows 8, but this is what we are getting used to and how it is looking today. Windows 11 is another story. I cannot tell you so much about Windows 11 because my computer is too old. I cannot upgrade it anymore. Windows 11 cannot run on my personal computer running Windows. So I am sticked with my Mac. I know how this is working, and I can use this all the time. And I don't have so many more things to say about Windows 11 that I cannot run it, so I have not seen it in action on my own machine. So I was beginning to think a little different, as the screen is saying here. We are going to look a little fast now about what happens when I turned into Mac instead of Windows. It was in 2010 I got my very first computer. This was a Mac, and I tried to use this, and it went very fine. I have small clips and videos about this here.
CSL.
The sun's going down as I try to make my way through the crowd. Feeling alive, I love being by your side, it makes me shine. We got one summer, so let's make it count. You make me feel like everything's alright. Let's dance our problems away in the night. Love being right next to you.
As you can see here, I was starting out with Leopard. It was on the first machine I has got in the Mac systems. Today we are running Monterey, and it is success by a system called Ventura. Here I is calling this system for Mammoth, because in a very long time they thought it would be Mammoth, but Monterey is succeeded by a program and a version called Ventura. So it is great. Ventura is a new, it's a translation of the word wind from coming from Spanish. So I don't hope this year will get very windy when going to start using Ventura. This is a little sign showing what computers and what they need to run Ventura when it comes out. It's September. I should say now this computer I'm running now, this little program, Livestream, here is on Ventura. So here I am back again. This was a little fast running through what I have been experienced with my in my life with with using computers and operating systems. Many different things during the years started back in 1980, and now it is 2022. So if you have something more, some more comments, you can write it in the chat. But we are closing up now, and I will go to wrap up this little stream here. I think it has been interesting, and I will say thank you for everybody who is here for watching. It has been very interesting and nice to see you all here. I will end this stream by making a little test with a video. So I will say thank you to all here, and thank you for watching. This was all for this time. I hope we will see you all in the next video. Bye bye, take care and stay safe from now.
Jag kan aldrig glömma när jag fick frid med Gud och blev klädd i högtidsskrud som en Jesu Kristi brud. När mitt hjärta renat blev ut i Jesu dyra blod och han gav mig liv, ja, liv i övernog. Hör på svensk. Jag är härligt löst och fri ifrån syndens slav. Sorgens toner byts i jubel till Guds land. Ja, jag har ju valt att följa Jesus på livets smala stig. Om en motgång möter mig, löftets stjärna slocknar ej. Snart ska jag få möta Jesus och se han som han är. Jag ska ledas fram till han som har mig kär. Okej. Jag är härlig, löst och fri ifrån länkar som mig vann. Nådens sol för mig upprann, och jag vet att det är sant. Så vandrar jag i Tåredalen, gör han den till Kildevand. Sorgens toner bytes som i jubelsång. Solo och 1, 2, 3, 4. Och nu ska vi klappa i bedhuset. 1 och 2. Är ni med då? Jo då, ni är med. Du svänger det lite. Hey! Ja, det gör ni gott. Tänk, vägen går mot stora höjder och ner i sorgens dal, ifrån glädje och till kval. Men till sist i himlens sal, där ska bröllopsfesten firas, och vi får vara med. Vid den tanken blir jag fylld av salighet. Vi synger. Jag är härlig, löst och fri ifrån länkar som mig vann. Nådens sol för mig upprann, och jag vet vandrar jag i Tåredalen, gör han den till Kildevand. Sorgens toner bytes som i jubelsång. Och så ska vi klappa, så sjunger vi. Jag är härligt, löst och fri ifrån länkar som mig vann. Nådens sol för mig upprann, och jag vet att det sant. Vandrar jag i Tåredalen, gör han den till Kildevand. Sorgens toner bytes som i jubelsång. Vandrar jag vandrar jag i Tåredalen, friska källsprång pålar fram. Sorgens toner byts i jubel till Guds land. Yeah, yeah. Ja, det gick bra det. Vi vet att det är sant.
CSL